This is Nightline.
Tonight, Mr. and Mrs. Murder. Two couples once inseparable.
We were two perfect little families that are all best friends.
Until one of them mysteriously disappeared.
Denise had called me and said that Mike hadn't come back from hunting yet.
And the ultimate betrayal.
She had stabbed me in the soul.
How one of them uncovered the affair and shocking murder plot, and how they almost got away with it. Plus,
beautiful
Catherine-Zeta Jones, captivating audiences for decades, from The Mask of Zorro to her Oscar-winning performance in Chicago.
And all that jazz.
Now back as Morticia in Wednesday.
It is like a part made in heaven for any actress, really.
The modern-day remake of the classic Addams Family. What she says about her own iconic family with husband Michael Douglas.
I just always forget that my family is well known, because we are like a regular family.
And Justin Bieber.
Pick up whenever you call. In the parking lot in Tucson,
drops an intimate new video. Yukon, a babyface guest star on deck.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, a story about friendship and love, betrayal and murder. The seemingly happy lives of four close friends destroyed when one mysteriously vanishes. The dogged persistence of one of the others for close to 2 decades, uncovering the shocking truth. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
Tallahassee is a very southern town. It does not look like that typical Florida beach. Let me just start at the beginning.
It's a murder case over 15 years in the making, a twisty tale set deep in the Florida Panhandle. 4 longtime friends, once inseparable. After college, Kathy Thomas married Brian Winchester, and their best friends, Denise Merrill and Mike Williams, also tied the knot. 2 couples raising kids together side by side.
We were 2 perfect little families that are all best friends.
Until Mike Williams vanished without a trace on a hunting trip in 2000. At first, Mike's death was seen as a tragic accident, but the truth was far more sinister. Once part of the close-knit group, Kathy Thomas is now telling her side of the story in the new Hulu docuseries Mr. and Mrs. Murder. Everything changed as Kathy's family gathered to celebrate Christmas that same year.
I always had my family Christmas on a Saturday before Christmas Day. We would go to South Georgia at my granny's farm. Around noon, Denise calls me and she says, "Do you know where Brian is? Do you know where Mike is?" And I say, "No, haven't heard from anybody this morning." During hunting season, Brian hunted nearly every day. She says, well, Mike had gone hunting at Lake Seminole that morning, and they were supposed to be leaving to go to Apalachicola. He told me he'd be back by noon. She was irritated. Denise and Mike had planned to take their anniversary trip at a bed and breakfast. It was kind of a big deal. I said, no, I don't know. If I hear anything, I'll let you know. Brian got to my granny's between 4 and 5, and my uncle said to him, "You're in a lot of trouble," meaning because he was late, And so I say to Brian, "Did you ever hear from Mike today?" And he says, "Well, what are you talking about?" And I said, "Well, Denise had called me and said that Mike hadn't come back from hunting yet."
It was around 72 degrees on Saturday when Mike went missing. And then a cold front had come through, and the next morning it was 12 degrees. After 10 days searching, I knew it was a recovery operation.
What no one knew was that Brian and Denise, Mike's wife, were having a secret affair. It wasn't until sometime after Mike disappeared that Kathy began to connect the dots.
One day in March, Brian calls me and he says, "I'm going to take the dogs out for training." And there was just something in his tone, just a little red flag. So when I took my lunch that day, I went home and I saw the dogs there. Later that evening, I say to him, "What'd you do today?" "I took the dogs out." "When'd you take the dogs out?" "Around 2 o'clock. And I said, "Well, I was here actually at that time and the dogs were here." He didn't want to tell me what he was doing. "What were you doing?" I just would not let it go. And he finally admits to me that for her birthday, Denise had wanted to go to the lake to see where Mike had last been. For the first time, she'd never been there before. And I said, "Well, why didn't you just tell me that?" She just wanted me to take her out there so she could have some private time, and she didn't want anyone to know. And I said, "Well, why didn't she want me to know? That doesn't add up." And he starts like turning it around. "Why is this about you? This is about her." It was the first time I had specifically caught him in a lie, where he was covering for being with her. I'm trying to get my bearings on what does it look like if I leave? What do I need? I had no idea what was in our bank account.
Now considering divorce, Kathy starts looking into their finances, making a shocking discovery.
I found a receipt for a jewelry store that was at the mall. And it was for a necklace with a name written in gold, and it was the name Meridian. And I knew Meridian was Denise. That was the name that she would use when we would go out, sort of her party name. Just, oh my gosh, like, who can do that? She had taken everything. To say that Denise had stabbed me in the back doesn't even touch it. She had stabbed me in the soul.
In June, 6 months after the initial search, we found a set of waders floating. A diver from Tallahassee came over and he dove down in the deeper hole.
Within probably 2 minutes, he came up with a hunting jacket. One sleeve was turned inside out, like someone was trying to get it off. And I put my hand in the pocket and pulled out a hunting license. It said Mike Williams.
Authorities believed Mike was eaten by alligators after falling out of his boat while duck hunting. But Kathy had questions for Brian.
I remember asking him, were the waders messed up? If an alligator got him, then wouldn't there be bite marks? And him saying no, he probably got him off before it happened. I couldn't understand why anyone believed that.
Kathy and Brian eventually divorced, and then came the shock. Brian married Denise, her former best friend and Mike's widow. As months turned into years, the story of Mike's death remained suspicious, but unanswered. For nearly 2 decades, Kathy pushed for answers.
I knew it was either Brian or Denise. I'll say that. I didn't think it was anybody else, but I just didn't know which one of them had done it.
Then in 2018, the truth about Mike Williams' death was finally revealed. Brian Winchester confessed to his murder as part of a plea deal related to other crimes. Denise was convicted of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and accessory after the fact, but her murder conviction was later overturned. Both Denise and Brian are now serving decades behind bars.
This is the only way to get closure for his family. I did it. know that's what Mike's gonna tell me one day. When I see him again, he's gonna tell me I did a good job.
Our thanks to Stephanie. For much more in this story, watch Mr. and Mrs. Murder, now streaming on Hulu. Up next, we're one-on-one with Catherine-Zeta Jones, back as Morticia Addams in Wednesday, why she says the Addams family translates perfectly to modern times.
You're getting rusty, Mother. I can practically hear you creak.
Welcome back. From stage to screen, Catherine-Zeta Jones has captivated audiences for decades. Now she's back in the role of a chic and spooky Addams Family matriarch, Morticia, for the new season of Netflix's Wednesday. She sat down with ABC's Deborah Roberts.
Catherine is here now. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, first of all, it's such a treat to get to see you because I love all your work.
Thank you. Well, it's a treat for me to step into the dark stiletto heels of Morticia Addams.
When you think about memorable roles, of course, you've had some memorable ones over the years. Elena Montero in The Mask of Zorro.
Were you looking for something?
Sense of the miraculous. Well, why don't you try looking someplace else? The lady and I were trying to dance. You were trying. She was succeeding.
To the sizzling Velma in Chicago. Which you won an Oscar for.
Yeah.
And then the kind of irascible chef in No Reservations.
Yeah. This place is who I am.
No, it's not.
I mean, so many different characters. How do you find them, and how did you find your inner Morticia?
Well, I've been blessed. For me to step into the shoes of Morticia Addams was wonderful because this woman was the matriarch of the quintessential modern family.
Yeah.
Where we embrace idiosyncrasies, where the nuances and the quirkiness and the outcasts and the differences are applauded, not quashed. And so now we have 8 hours of television, Wednesday's through story, of course, but we can open up those, you know, silk layers of Morticia and find out who she really is.
Your Morticia is chic, of course, but sharp-tongued. When you look back on the previous Morticias in the 1960s, the series started. I remember watching the reruns, and then Angelica Houston brought her to life on the screen. So do you feel the need to sort of look back and honor the past, or do you just come completely with a new twist?
I approached playing Morticia Addams as I would imagine Judi Dench or Maggie Smith would approach playing Lady Macbeth, Shakespeare, in that great performances of the same character have been done before, but usually as an actor what you bring personally to any character is the nuance of that, the rebirth of it.
Fortunately, I have a very high threshold for pain.
Which I find intoxicating.
Morticia now, set in right now in this day and age, is a different woman than was in the 50s, and she was a different woman even when Angelica played them. They're rooted to the ground in reality. And from there, you can jump. You can nuance the sarcasm, the humor, the emotion, the fragility of her, the strength, the contentiousness. It is like a part made in heaven for any actress, really.
And you do it so well, too. Let's take a sneak peek.
You taught me everything I know.
But I didn't teach you everything I know.
Whoa, spoken like a true mom. I didn't teach you everything I know. Jenna Ortega is your co-star in this, and she's obviously so great as Wednesday. Well, first, what's it like playing alongside her?
It's one of the treats of the last 20 years for me to see her on season 1. They kind of dangled the carrot in front of my nose, and I played Morticia in a very few scenes because it was the beginning of Wednesday's journey. And I remember looking at her on set and going, wow, she's marvelous. And working with her, we have a very good similar sense of humor. I sometimes mother her a bit too much.
I was just going to ask, do you offer motherly advice?
Well, I keep telling her she's getting enough rest because she's always doing such fabulous things, but she doesn't stop.
You said that the Addams Family celebrates differences.
I think celebrating differences is just, you know, when you think about there's no glass ceiling broken, we're still, to this day, fighting, not celebrating, fighting to hold on to our individualities. Every family can relate to a lot that goes on within this world, dark and gloomy as it is. I think the Addams Family is a family of the ages.
You, yourself, in real life, are in an iconic family, married to the great Michael Douglas. Does that inform you in any way when you're playing a family that is so well known? And you, of course, have a family that is so well known.
Yeah, I just always forget that my family is well known, you know, because we are like a regular family. You know, as we approach our 25th wedding anniversary, Michael and I were reminiscing the other day, is that our children have become just wonderful young citizens of the planet. Michael was the son of Kirk Douglas, and so he's better equipped for what it's like to be the kids of people who are known. But to them, because we've been such a close, tight family unit, you know, we're just regular mum and dad, but they've navigated their lifestyles and their lives so far so beautifully. We're extremely, extremely proud of it.
Oh, you're very fortunate. Well, I suspect we're going to see a lot of Morticia costumes this Halloween.
I expect to have a selfie of you, madame.
You've inspired me.
Morticia.
You have inspired me. I just have to get my black wig and my outfit.
That's it, baby. You look fabulous in it.
Well, it's a fabulous role, and you're just making it so much fun.
Thank you so much.
Congrats on all of it. Catherine-Zeta Jones, thank you for joining us, and you can catch part 1 of the new season of Wednesday. It's out on Netflix right now.
Our thanks to Deborah. When we come back, Justin Bieber's baby boy making his debut in his dad's brand new video, Yukon.
Oh, and I know you like to go slow, but we could go faster.
And finally tonight, Bieber and this baby.
Remember you used to drive a Yukon. I pick up on
Justin Bieber dropping a brand new video, Yukon. The playful black and white clip features the pop star's family, including wife Hailey Bieber, and the video debut of his son Jack Blues, who celebrates his first birthday in a couple of weeks, frolicking in the sunshine. Yukon is the first video Bieber has released from his latest album, Swag, which debuted at #1 on the pop charts and is said to be inspired by his devotion as a husband and father. And that's Nightline for this evening. Watch our full episodes on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. We'll see you right back here same time tomorrow. Thanks for the company, America. Good night.